Present.
Ms. Johnson? Ms. Johnson?
Come back to her.
She's off.
Dr. Murillo?
Present.
Mr. Ploger?
Present.
Ms. Simonton?
Present.
Ms. Venman?
Present.
Amy, do you want to check to see if her thing got muted accidentally?
It's unmuted? It's not muted. No. Oh, it's Jen?
We have a board member who's coming in remotely.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have public comment? Okay. We are moving on to,
Should we wait till?
okay. Banking services RFP.
Hey,
Okay, you want to check?
You have a 4.1.
You want to just pull her into roll call?
Jo-
Do we- Jen Johnson.
Ms. Johnson,
yes,
can you state your name for the roll call?
Jen Johnson.
Okay. All right. Good evening, board. This evening, I'm going to invite Mr. Obafemi, who's bringing to us an update on banking services RFP, and we want to welcome some of those guests as well. Mr.
Thank you,
Obafemi.
Dr. Kolgadi. As a district, we have not, we've used the same bank since 2008, which is really not best practice. What we need to do, we need to look out in the marketplace and see if there are opportunities to get better service and better pricing for the services that we get from banks. As part of that, we went out and developed an RFP. And during the RFP process, I believe 7 banks responded to the RFP. And we vetted them, and the bank that we thought best suited the process that we put in place actually is right here in our backyard, Serve Bank. And Serve Bank is actually Oswego-based. They used to be called Ally Bank. They changed their name to Serve Bank, and they're located in Oswego. And they've been an integral part of our community. Over the years, they give out a $1,000 scholarship to 20 of our kids every year to use towards college. And the proposal they submitted was by far the most reflective of what we are looking for. That's why we are recommending that the board approve that we have Serve Bank become our banking partner moving forward. Now, we have 3 individuals from Serve Bank who are here joining us tonight to speak, to give an overview of the bank and also to answer any questions that board member may have. I have Joe Valenti, the branch manager of the Oswego Bank, here. We also have Richard Tomer. Rich is the chief operating officer of Serve Bank. And then Michael Finn, who is the vice president of treasury management here. So I'm going to hand it over to them to provide an overview, please.
Almost. Oh, no, not yet.
Now, while he's working on the microphone too.
I think I got it.
There
All right,
you go.
there we go. Appreciate the wonderful introduction. My name is John Wise. I'm the Executive Vice President for Serve Bank. And I just wanted to thank the board and everyone in attendance for allowing us to come in and speak to you today. It's much appreciated. As most of you are aware of Allied First Bank, which was previously Serve Bank now. So we took over, and really what I wanted to come talk to you today about was not really specifics of the RFP, but more so our community involvement, who we are as an organization, and really the direction that we're going as an organization. Community is number one. Number two is also the way we serve our clients, right? We really treat our clients as family. I call it, for lack of better terms, old school banking, really, where you're shaking hands, you're meeting with your clients, you have direct lines of contact. We have 3 of my team members behind me here today that are all an integral part of how we service our clients day in and day out. And then on top of that, it comes down to capabilities, right? As looking at combining, the schools within the district into one bank, there's certain solutions you're going to need. Ultimately, we're here as a partner for moving money in and out, to fraud protection, to adding additional products and services that you need to ensure that everything is running smoothly is all crucial to our partnership, and then that open communication that we have between both parties. So really, why I came here today is really to talk through that piece of it. The CRA implications, as well as the community, we're heavily involved as we have a long legacy. Yeah, it looks like it's really pouring right now. Sorry.
Serve and reign.
Really coming down. So getting back to the community. Obviously, we have a great relationship and a long-standing relationship with the district, and we want to continue to grow and be a steward and a partner as a banking partner for the long term. And then obviously too, as well as going out to market and getting multiple RFPs, you want to maximize the dollars you have, the way you do it, as far as how efficiently you can do it and move money in and out of your accounts. But also it comes down to the yield that you can get on your relationship as well. And so Serve Bank is really competitive. We have a very strong balance sheet, and we're going to continue to grow within the local community here and continue to expand on the commercial banking side. So we're really excited for that. And I'll pause for any questions from the board or anywhere I can kind of dive into that you guys might have.
I would ask the question, are we going to see an even greater experience with you all from a community perspective and the things that you do in terms of, relating to our students and the types of opportunities that might be available to our students? I know Allied did a lot. Will that continue, and will we see an even more robust opportunity?
If I can speak to that at the beginning, then you can follow up. We had a meeting during our meeting process. One of the things that we requested is that Ally Bank offer each of 2 of our high school students from one of each OH and OE an opportunity to do a paid internship every summer. And they agreed to that without any hesitation. And I think that shows their commitment to the community. I think what is great about that is there's really no function that a child wants to learn that one of our students cannot learn working at Serve Bank. If it's communication, they do corporate communication. If it's banking, if it's finance, if it's advertising. So that shows right there their commitment to being partner with us. So I'll let him speak some more to that.
Raphael, thank you. So Rick Toman, again, delighted to be here tonight. A little bit more detail on that. So I'm not sure out of the student population that is here that if someone wakes up tomorrow morning and says, you know what, I think I'm going to grow up and be a banker or something like that. However, the whole thought of what Raphael is sharing is that here in Oswego, and again, we're right over on Orchard. Love to say that we're catty corner from Dunkin' Donuts. And so again, it's the bank that has the gymnasium in it. And so with that, from an internship perspective, that one, it can be very finance specific, but it can also be incredibly holistic. So from human resources, our people team, our marketing, compliance, people don't think really about compliance or risk. And these are critical aspects, especially in the regulatory environment that we are in today. So yes, the ability to have paid internships, not just during the summer, but oftentimes there might be the opportunity as well that, you know, they leave school at 1 and get credit and come, you know, come over to the bank. So very excited for that.
I love all that, and I just want to comment, like, I think this can be a model for the way industries and companies can engage with us as a school district. I think sometimes industries or people might think, well, what could I do, right? And I hear you saying, like, we're going to accept students in for, like, internship experiences and things like that. But I also think a lot of kids wake up, like you said, and they're not thinking I want to be a banker, but they don't know what they want to do. So is there a way even to push into schools and offer and just give, like, on, you know, job day or whatever, like career day, like, you know, here's some things you could do in the banking industry, and we're right around the corner. So I appreciate obviously the banking services, but also the commitment to community. So thank you.
And it is not boring, I promise you. So they seem boring, but it is not. So.
I don't expect this to be answered, but, you know, like here, you can certainly get back to me on this. But I remember way back in 8th grade, I actually, that was my report. You know, we had to do career reports, right? And it was banking, right? And I had an older brother who was, I don't know, in charge of the loan department, River Forest Bank, which became Chorus Bank, and all these things, right? Reason I bring this up, right, is 2008, I know it was very traumatic for the industry. My brother was one of those who was lucky enough to make it through all those. He made good loans, right? And I'm just curious, like, if with the amount of banking mergers and everything, and I know this is a complete technical question, I like everything I've heard, but if you're bought out, right, if you're taken over by somebody, will those things, what reassurances do we have that those things will continue, and you know, hope your balance sheet is good and your loans are great. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm going to trust you know, Mr. Obafemi, but I'm just curious about that piece.
I can answer that. In a prior district where I worked, a similar thing happened, and I spoke to them about it. There was a community bank that we bank with, good relationship, community-based bank, and that bank got bought out by a larger bank. And before the transition took place, we interviewed the CEO of the bank. We actually had a conversation where we asked about all kinds of things, all the things that they will be willing to do to maintain the relationship that we have with the hometown bank. And a commitment was made by the CEO that they will continue to do that. And I would say now, it's been a few years, and as I'm no longer in that district, the relationship continues, even with the new owner. And they continue to give back, and they continue to work with the district as well as the kids in those districts. I think it's good business. Banks that have relationship with the community that they serve is good business for them. Because if you think about it, we also talked about the possibility of working with our staff member who need a place to bank, who need to get mortgages, offer them comparative rate. So that helps our employees. It also helps the bank. So it's a symbiotic relationship, if you will. It helps them and it helps us for us to have a good relationship with the bank.
Yeah, and I'm glad you point that out there. I'll be quick, but, you know, I'm glad you point that out there. You know, there's a lot of small towns not far from here, and one of the problems with a lot of those small towns, they don't have banks anymore, right? When I was a kid, you know, growing up down the road, we had a bank that invested back in the town. So I'm excited that that's what we're doing, all those things, and like I said, I'm gonna trust you on some of these pieces, and I know you do your homework, so appreciate it.
Thank you. And I'm glad you brought that up. The key part of that also is if we use money, a leverage that the taxpayer gave us, and we keep it in the community, it allows ServBank to be able to provide loans and to be able to develop businesses that are based here in Oswego or the surrounding area, as opposed to a mega bank that this is just a place to do business. There's no connection to the community. So it serves a lot of purposes to bank with a hometown bank, with a commitment to our taxpayers and the businesses who are here, to give them loans, to open bank accounts for them, to assist businesses that are trying to emerge to help them grow.
And just to add to that, Raphael, appreciate that. That was very great context. Great question, right? When you look at 08, 09, you can even look back in the beginning of 2023, a lot of regionals, you know, we all heard about Silicon Valley Bank and all of those banks having those issues, right? So picking the right partner is so crucial, especially where, you know, I don't want to get into an economic discussion, but especially where we're going. These last couple of days have been a little chaotic, but when you look at an organization like ours, right, it comes down to the relationship. It does come down to the balance sheet, right? Having strengths in liquidity, putting good quality loans out on the books. And then lastly, I think this is a crucial piece, we're a privately held organization, right? So when you look at the large guys that are publicly traded, they make business decisions based on what their next call report's gonna be, so they make sure to take care of their shareholders, right? So we manage for the long term. We manage really for the best interest of the business always, and that's really helped a community bank our size really give to our clients, and then also stay through kind of the longevity of the economic cycles that we're going to see.
So a little bit more color, so thank you, John. So we recently received our scorecard, if you will. We went through, and this is a little bit of boring banker, so our FDIC safety and soundness exam. Now, I'm not permitted by regulation to share what our score is. I absolutely wish I could, but let's just say if we were a student here or in any one of the 22 schools, we would be on high honor roll. So just very, very proud of that, because again, this is local, and this is a scoring system across the entire banking industry in the entire United States. So to have that right here, local, and let's just say to be a high honor roll student, and we worked really, really hard for that. And so just want to share, again, without being specific on you know, what the actual score was, but very proud of that.
And that's part of our due diligence too. It was funny when we met. We had gone through the FDIC. The FDIC research, they provide information about banks that are insured by them. And we read up on them. And we were talking to them, they were kind of surprised that we did that. But that's part of the process that one of the many processes that we went through in vetting the banks that we brought in for recommendation.
And one additional, sorry to interrupt you, one additional commentary as well is, you know, having insurance, right? Having, whether it's collateralization of the district's total deposits, or it's an ICS product, which gets FDIC insurance to the collective dollar amount that you store at one institution. That also is another layer of protection as well, right? You have collateralization or insurance of the total deposits of the district, and that's a big crucial piece as well.
Ms. Johnson, did you have anything that you wanted to ask?
I do. Thank you so much, President Singleton. I have 3 questions, 2 for the gentleman and 1 for Femi. I apologize, I can't see your colleagues behind you, but I am interested, is the bank invested in any DEI efforts?
So absolutely, and a very important question. So we do have not just a DEI committee, but very active, I think it was mentioned earlier, with our CRA, which is the Community Reinvestment Act. Our plan right now is before the FDIC. Many of you may have actually seen it, and when I say it like that, we had to publish that locally for 30 days. And when I say locally, it's in the Chicagoland market as well. And so with that plan being reviewed right now, a huge reinvestment back into the community. So that's external from a CRA perspective, but also internal from a DEI initiative. One thing that I'm very, very proud of, we have a very strong women's leadership forum. And so from, again, an internship perspective, that would want young men and young women to be able to go through and experience that forum as well. So again, yes, very much so. And thank you for asking that question.
My second question is, and I tread incredibly lightly on this, the school board is to be nonpartisan. We try very hard to be nonpartisan. Unfortunately, in the last election, a lot of different boundaries kind of became blurred. And I would say the election was one of the many of my colleagues sitting up there will tell you, was incredibly complicated. Your bank made a very specific endorsement of a candidate for the village president. Unfortunately, we had a lot of contentious meetings with and discussions with some former village board members. How do you see that moving forward, and will you continue to endorse specific candidates in local politics?
So again, incredibly not just important, but critical question. And so as much as I want to share that things have stayed the same from a stability standpoint, and absolutely they have, but also we do have new leadership here at the bank. And with that, again, it's easy to stand here and say, oh, nonpartisan, but at the same time, yeah. But at the same time, the thought is we are here to bank, we are here to support the community, and that support that we render, whether it's in talent, treasure, time, it does not need to be political in any way. And again, it's an incredibly heated world that we're in right now as we go into November and post-November. But at the end of the day, there are some changes that have been made at the bank, and that is one I would say that has been a step forward.
I appreciate that. We need partners that are going to support our students regardless of what's going on in the political landscape, and work with and collaborate with the school district. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Omafemi, do we have any sort of financial return on investment with going with a specific provider? Do you have any numbers behind going with a specific bank over another bank?
Yes, we have a score sheet that we use. We're happy to share that. One huge variable that I'll be very transparent in telling you is the fee structure. And some of the fee structures from some of the bank was significant. I mean,
Significantly higher.
very significant. They charge for everything. Heck, they charge for blowing your nose. They charge for looking around. I mean, it was just, this is a significant amount of money that will cost us over time. Now, I will say with Serve Bank, one of the attractive thing with them is no fees. No fees. And we know we recognize that our taxpayers work hard for their money. And if we can get services from a bank that is stable, that is solid, without having to pay all those fees, we believe we owe it to our, to our community not to do that. And some of those, they are bigger banks who, they have branches and in different parts of the state, and they have to support that. And how they support that is a lot of fees. With Serve Bank, they have one branch, and the branch is here in Oswego and nowhere else. So they have the ability not to have as much overhead as some of the other banks that submitted RFP. That was one important. And the ability to be able to walk in and talk to the chief operating officer of the bank, the vice president of Treasury, the branch manager, to be able to have a face-to-face meeting with them without having to call New York, without having to call Chicago, without having to schedule time ahead of time to be able to talk to a low-level person. That makes a big difference, too, in relationship building. So those are some of the variables that we use in trying to determine what would be the best fit for us. And lastly, what I would say is this is an ongoing relationship. We hope it works for us. But if it doesn't work for us, we have the ability to go back to the market and see what else is out there.
Right. I love the idea of, again, keeping it in Oswego or Montgomery, Plainfield, Aurora. I think the more we pour into our neighborhoods, the better we are. So I appreciate the presentation.
Okay,
Thank you.
we're done.
Any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if we're permitted to ask a question, but I
Oh.
think if we are. So October 25th, Crosstown Challenge. Who is going to take it this year? Can we go on
Team.
record?
Oh, we-
Okay.
Well,
who's
I don't
president?
want to
Team
create
from
any issues.
Oswego.
Sorry.
Not
Okay.
on the agenda.
Principal Bankowski, Oswego East.
So
This is
I'll give you
recorded,
I'll give
remember,
you
so, okay.
I'll give you a controversial answer to that question. Typically, Oswego High School wins the football game. Typically, Oswego East brings home the overall crosstown trophy. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Didn't mean to
Did I
create
hear
all that
state
disruption,
championships
so-
in the way?
Thank you.
We are looking for sponsors, gentlemen.
Well, I've been a member of Allied Bank as a customer for 20 years, so I'm looking forward to continuing that relationship with you all.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are moving on. There are no public comments. So we will move on to you, Dr. Calgatti, with your superintendent report, 6.1.
Okay. Good evening, board. Good evening, everyone. It is just truly incredible to be here at this point where we are beginning to think about the start of the school year. I hope everyone's had a restful and enjoyable break, and we will be welcoming our teachers back on Monday for the upcoming school year. And we are excited to see all the fantastic things that have been planned in preparation for our educators to return. And following that, on that Thursday, we will welcome over 17,000 students back into our schools. Woo woo. We've been waiting. We've been waiting, excited. There's nothing quite like the energy that fills our halls when our students return. It's been a joy to run into some throughout the summer. I think Beckham's in the audience there. Is that Beckham? All right. He can't wait to get started. This year, our district's theme is centered around our bright SD308 life. We're full of energy, optimism, and a shared vision for success. And I can't wait to see our schools buzzing, and I want to thank all our educators who are already supporting and getting classrooms ready. We know what it's like, and we thank you for your due diligence and care. We will also see our buses humming around on our roads, and all our young people traveling on bikes or walking to school. As a community, I want to invite you to really be prepared to shift how you think about those roads and really increase our safety in our communities. We really want to keep our students safe, and so really thinking about that. And we want to thank all our administrators and our village partners for thinking about how we prepare to make our roads safe. As always, this is a time with a lot of questions. Where's that list? Where's this and where's that? And so how do I find this? I can't remember this. So again, we're here to help you, and I want to thank our communications team for really working really hard to create that single place online where you can track current information about all things. And so on our website, SD308.org, you can find a link to Back to School. That's it. Simple as that. Find Back to School, and on there you're going to see a chock full of information. And of course, as always, I know that our administrators are already prepared and ready to help answer any question that may come up that does not help you, that doesn't get you the answer you're looking for. So thank you. And so just want to, again, board, just wishing us a fantastic year ahead, and to all our staff, students, and community members, we are ready and we are looking forward to it. And I have to thank, and I think there's some comments of this, but our buildings operations team, our finance department, and our HR team, who are really in the background doing everything possible to get our schools humming and ready. I think we should give that one a shout out. I visited a couple schools today, and I'm not kidding. You could literally like lay on that floor. It was so glistening with just beauty. So it just smells fresh. So I want to invite the board to add some comments that have been prepared related to the start of the school year.
I will go ahead and get us started. So over the summer, all elementary and junior high school students were welcome to dive into hands-on STEAM experiences at Makerspace. Here, the students could explore with Ozobots, construct intricate marble runs, play with green screens, engage in interactive iPad exploration, and bring ideas to life with 3D printers, pilot drones, and indulge in arts and crafts kits. Makerspace experience can be included in the school day, clubs, and other exploration opportunities. The excitement generated in these sessions is just the beginning of a journey that will continue to inspire and educate SD308 students.
So last week, administrators from across the district and all schools joined together to team plan and got to know each other ahead of the start of school. The energy was definitely intense. I never did find out, though, I got a couple of people from, no, we didn't win. Air 308s didn't win. We didn't win. Did we come in third at least? No.
There was a nine-way tie.
This, well, I was appropriately exiting from that then, I guess. But I myself and Ms. Johnson, I know were there, and I think, I'm not sure if anybody else was there also throughout, but we all kind of showed up and made our presence known. I just failed, sorry, in my contributions. But I'll try harder next year, maybe, I don't know. But this year's leadership team's already rocking, very creative, I can tell you that. Can't wait to see our school's fantastic energy come alive soon. In addition, the Human Resources Department and leaders from many departments and schools have been working together to host open interview events. And today another successful event was hosted, and candidates completed their preliminary interviews on the spot. We're closing in on filling the remaining openings, but hey, 308 community, if you're interested in joining the team, there's still time. So visit our website today to apply.
Well, the Blue Silver Bash and the Panther Fest are both coming up on August the 16th. The Blue Silver Bash is from 4 to 7 at Oswego East High School, and the bash will include a kids zone, presentations, robotics team demos, and more. And Panther Fest will be at Oswego High School and will take place on the 16th again from 4:30 to 8, and both events have free admission, and include cheer, dance performances, spirit wear sales, and activities open to the community. So please come out and support.
Next week, we invite all staff and their families to the second annual Back to School Bash. On Wednesday, August 14th, beginning at 12:30, staff can come to learn about benefits, always important, visit area business booths, pick up their staff shirt, and of course, and most importantly, visit the board's lemonade stand. we hope to see lots of staff and families in attendance.
Ken, I'm excited to announce this school year's Pride program will be recognizing twice as many employees as last year. We will acknowledge a total of 86 individuals. The board established the Pride program in 2015 to recognize, promote, and celebrate the many contributions made by our teachers and employees. Pride stands for proudly recognizing individuals demonstrating excellence. We look forward to sharing more about our fantastic Pride winners soon.
Thank you. And to finalize our superintendent comments this evening, I want to invite Dr. Zwemke to share some hiring news. Everybody's wondering about the final staffing, and so Dr. Zwemke.
I really like the way Mr. Ploger stated. There is still time. We're in really good shape. We've been really working well with human resources in our departments. Dr. Calgatti has really talked this year about a profound interdependence amongst our departments. Transportation, operations is looking extremely well. Our teaching positions are looking extremely well. We have 14 teaching positions open right now, about 5 at the elementary, junior high, 15, and 5 at the high schools and goal. We anticipate being able to fill those before the start of the school year. We had a very successful job fair today. We met people today that wanted to be health occupation secretaries, health office secretaries, to RBTs, to custodians. They did very, very well today, and we're looking forward to talk to them. Special education openings are probably our number one priority right now. We still have 10 case manager positions open. Related services, and related services are things like social work, psychologists, RBTs, BCBAs. We're still working through those, and we've been doing very well with contract-based services. Our goal throughout our system is to eliminate, first of all, reduce, if not eliminate, our dependence on contract-based services, period. We have a shared interest with all of our unions with that, with OEA, OESPA, OTA, and OCMA, to bring in our own 308 employees. So I want to make sure that that's clear. Number two, we've been very aggressive with our contract-based services this year. There has been legislation for a non-compete clause within contract-based services that we have used to our advantage. I want to give tremendous props and a shout out to Jamie Torres, who works in Dr. Dubiel's department as a contract-based services. We will bring you a total of what we project in our savings soon. And I'd like to perhaps get her involved, in a report in future. We are doing very well with our contract-based services right now. A couple other things. So where we might be a year from now with our residency program led by Anna Marie Candelario. 16 to 18 residents right now, right? So if I have 10 special ed positions and about 15 teaching positions, I don't have any teaching positions open next year. That's what the teacher residency program can and will do for us because of the support and the vision of Dr. Kincaid and the teacher residency grant, the support of our superintendent, the support of our board, and the work of human resources led by Anna Marie Candelario, Sarah Law, Claudia Ruiz, and others. So bear with us while we look for some contract-based services. That's where we're at. But we will be further ahead of school districts in our area because of the teacher residency program. So just wait on that. Tomorrow we welcome more than 100 plus new educators into our system. We will, yeah, absolutely. We will be working out of Eastview Academy for the next 4 days. We have great partners. Chamber of Commerce is going to be there. Our union partners are there as well too. Also, for the first time in a few years, we have reinstated a mentoring program for all of our brand new first, second, and third year teachers with an option for our fourth year. So it's not only important for us to recruit them, but also to retain them and then to make sure that we reward them so they are successful in our schools with our students. So those are a few updates related to HR that I wanted to share with the public. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
Do you recall approximately how many openings there were that we needed to fill over the summer? Between
We started about 87.
openings and new positions and what? I don't need an exact number.
A lot.
Yeah, okay. That's a technical answer.
We will bring a more
Yeah,
robust report.
just from from 6/1, 7/10 when we kind of started tracking a daily, like, have we made progress? Have we made progress? Have we made progress? Like, for example, on 7/31 teachers assistants, we had 63 positions remaining open, and now we're down to 46. And so we just keep meticulously picking off those numbers. Couple things that are really, really helpful. We have very good union labor partnerships, and negotiating 2 successful contracts last year made it very attractive for staff members from local areas to come here. Unapologetically, we are taking the best and the brightest from local areas, and we're happy to welcome them into Oswego 308, and we anticipate that to continue. I'll get you an exact number of what June 1st looked like.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that you guys have done an awful lot of work over the summer and have done a great job of it.
Total team effort.
And it's nice to kind of be one of the almost cool kids for a change. Cool district.
Yes, yes. Okay, we're moving on to 6.2, board member comments. Do we have any board member comments?
I just have one, right? It's kind of a shameless plug, but what are you gonna do? Just as school returns, sometimes we don't think about just kind of different perspectives or different things that are going on. And we have a place in the community known as, it's called Bickford, and it's where we have assisted living, and it sits right next to Prairie Point. And my mother happens to live there, and I will tell you that they are in anticipation there, many of them, to see the kids every day. It's like a highlight for them as they're eating breakfast, watching them. So, you know, sometimes I think we just kind of forget about the community aspect and all of us that are touched by, you know, and affected by, you know, all of what we do. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
Beautiful.
So I have a few things. First of all, Mr. Gatewood, I don't mean to correct you. It was written incorrectly. But the Blue and Silver and Panther Fest are actually on 2 separate days. So the Blue and Silver is on August 16th, and Panther Fest is August 23rd. I'm sorry, September 23rd. August 23rd. What month are we in? Oh, it's August.
Consecutive Fridays.
Thank you. Yeah, okay.
1923.
As I read
Thank
it,
you.
I said,
Of
why are they the
August.
same day? I said that. Okay, good.
It's okay, I almost made it twice as bad. But I just wanted to give some clarity on that, which I sort of failed at. But anyway, you get the idea. Aside from that, a couple things that went on. We had Community Cares had their back to school bash,
Yes.
or their Start Strong,
Yeah.
back a couple weeks ago, and we had several families coming in, picking up their backpacks and their school supplies. So it's nice to have an organization that kind of gets kids ready for school. Also, this past Saturday, I was at a BPAC family event at Prairie Point at the Splash Pad. What's really nice about the dual language parents, they have kind of a fairly close-knit community, so they're always doing something on a monthly basis so that the kids can continue to kind of hang out together, and they do it over the summer as well. So it was nice to see the kids. It was nice to see a bunch of parents that were really invested in their kids' education and their future. So that's it. They are also excited for the new school year to start.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes, thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Kelgati for the invitation to join the admin retreat last week. It truly was an honor to come join the inside of what is going on and to see the joy and the hope and the brilliance of our admin and our leadership. The last couple of years, I kind of feel like hope has been a little lost. I think the teaching profession in general has been pulled down, and I am so excited to see the admin bringing back the joy and the glow, if you will. It was excellent, and we were welcomed by the Oswego High School. Every meeting could start that way. It was pretty remarkable. I also, just touching on the joy thing, I've been feeling a little hopeless lately, and when I do, I always take to writing and journaling. And as everybody is probably watching the Olympics right now, I just wrote a few thoughts, if I could share them with you, about how what's going on in the Olympics really parallels what's going on with the Olympics have increasingly reflected diversity, inclusion, and equity in several very global ways. The Olympics brings together athletes from a wide range of countries and backgrounds, showing a broad spectrum of cultures, ethnicities, and genders. This representation really is the beauty of diversity on an international stage. There's been significant process towards gender parity in the Olympics. For the instance, the Tokyo Olympics saw the highest number of female athletes in history, and the inclusion of women's events in the sports disciplines reflects a commitment to gender equality. With the Paralympics, held shortly after the main games, focus on athletes with disabilities, promoting inclusivity and highlighting the abilities of athletes who might otherwise be looked. And cultural representation. Often we see feature traditional ceremonies, music, and cultural displays from the host country, which gives us an insight into diverse cultural expressions. This helps in really promoting a greater understanding and appreciation of different cultures. And then there is awareness and advocacy, such as issues with social justice and human rights, and the visibility that can help bring attention to important causes and really foster a broader dialogue about what equity and inclusion really means. While we're seeing significant progress, we all know challenges still remains, but it's very comforting to see that what we're doing here in our district really does reflect in the global world. And I had the privilege of working on the 2002 Winter Olympics. Their Olympics have always been very near and dear to me. So I just wanted to share those thoughts, and I thank everyone for allowing me this time.
Thank you for those thoughts, Mrs. Johnson. Anyone else? All right, then I'll just wrap it up by saying a couple things. One, I attended the Operations and Finance Appreciation Luncheon a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, I think Dr. Kelgati hit on it as well. You know, our grounds and our schools are always immaculate and kept so well. Our operations department just completed a project to make sure that all of our staff from the district office could be in one place, and it's a beautiful addition to what we're doing. And they brought that project in, you know, quicker than would have been normal, and at a cost that was really great. So I just want to thank even the finance department. That luncheon was amazing. They had a huge pig roast. An entire pig was roasting on the skewer, and everyone enjoyed it. I mean, and then I think the highlight of the day was having all of these amazing prizes that the staff hold back from their vendors, and I mean, just some Yeti coolers, and just, I mean, I can't even begin to explain it, but there were so many of them, and it was just such a beautiful way to show appreciation for what you all have done. And so, you know, Obafemi and Bill Queen, thank you for your leadership, and everyone, Amanda, you know, everyone who's making this thing work, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And then I also went and greeted the new administrators. It's amazing to see how many individuals we had that were new. And so thank you to the HR department for doing the work, and Dr. Kelgati and the board for making this a preferred destination, because it is definitely that, and it's amazing to see it. And then lastly, I also attended the administrative retreat, and you know, it's important to our staff and our students to know that this is a place where everyone benefits from the way things are, whether it's our staff or our students. And so that's the message that we want to send. I mean, we're sending the message in terms of, you know, making sure that there's adequate pay for every one of our unions, every one of our district staff, our administrative staff, making sure that you all feel and understand that you're valued and that you're seen and that we need you and that we want you here. And this is not a place to come and get skills and then leave, but we want this to be a place where you feel that the culture here fits you and that you belong here and that you want to stay and be a part of this family. So I just want to thank you all for all the work that you're doing, all the things that we've dreamt about in our hearts when we ran for the school board. We're seeing those things manifest, and we're just excited. So thank you. All right. right, we're moving on to 7.1, the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
Make a motion to approve all items under consent, including 7.1 minutes from the Board of Education meeting on July 15th, 2024, open and closed session, 7.2 to acknowledge the FOIA requests received by the district, and 7.3 to approve the field trips for overnight and or over 200 miles.
Are there any questions on the consent agenda?
Second.
Second.
Mr. Gatewood?
Aye.
Dr. Murillo?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson? Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Simulton?
Aye.
Mr. Ploger?
Aye.
Ms. Venman?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Action item 8.1, approval of building administrator contracts. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the building administrator contracts as discussed and presented.
Second.
Mr. Ploger?
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood?
Aye.
Ms. Venman?
Aye.
Ms. Simulton?
Aye.
Dr. Murillo?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Board, thank you very much for approving our brand-new administrators into the district. We welcome you. Dr. Kincaid and Dr. Dubiel will just take a brief moment to introduce our newest members of our 308 team.
Yep, so I have 4 people that I would like to introduce. The first person that I have, accompanied by Principal Kelly Merritt, is Todd Duty. So Todd is our newly appointed assistant principal of Churchill Elementary. He is a highly recommended candidate for this position with a broad teaching background, extensive leadership experience, and unwavering commitment to student success. So these are the things that have made him not only, Churchill's recommendation, but our recommendation of our district. Strengths in data-driven strategies, relationship building, and maintaining a safe and inclusive environment. So, Todd, welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Our second administrative recommendation, accompanied by Principal Laura Bankowski, is Stephen LeClaire. So Stephen is recommended and now approved. So thank you for the Dean of Students at Oswego East. He is currently a Dean of Students at Plainfield South High School. Steve began his career as a business teacher, and throughout our interview process, really showed strengths in making meaningful connections with our students, building relationships with the intent of breaking down obstacles and barriers for all students. So his experiences in both the classroom and as a dean will be a wonderful asset to our school community. Thank you, Steve. The third person that I would like to introduce is Cody Pinenberg. So
Cody cannot be with us tonight.
thank you kindly. Cody was our newly approved Prairie Point Elementary Assistant Principal. So thank you. So the fourth person that we're going to introduce is Tiffany Francis. So who is accompanied by Principal John Evans. So Tiffany has been a longstanding member of our not only school community, but our community also. She is currently a teacher on special assignment, so a TOSA for our gifted students here in SD308. She began her career as a 5th grade teacher, moved into a gifted education teacher, and then obviously our lead teacher of gifted. So through the interview process, Tiffany demonstrated successful experience in both coaching and mentoring teachers, staff, has led professional development both during the school and all throughout the summer, and has a strong ability to collaborate and communicate with teachers, parents, students, and staff. So her experiences as a classroom teacher, mentor, and teacher leader really stood out to Principal Evans and his staff, and Tiffany is our candidate for assistant principal at Trauberg Junior High.
Aaron Paris is the now approved recommended candidate for
Aaron has served as a special education teacher, instructional coach, assistant principal, and special education coordinator.
Tap it again.
In the interview process, Aaron demonstrated a strong knowledge of special education, the ability to support students with disabilities, and make positive connections with students. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Dr.
Yes. The next recommended or now approved candidate, Denise McNamara. She is now the approved candidate for the program administrator at, oh, I don't think I have this, sorry. Thank you, Whoops Crossing. In Benarsic, that's right. So she'll be serving as a program administrator for Whoops Crossing and assistant principal for Benarsic. Denise has served as a special education teacher since 2018. Through the interview process, Denise demonstrated critical awareness of special education and the importance of care for families and students. Her experience in special education leadership will greatly benefit our students. Welcome, Denise.
Okay. Okay. 8.2, action item, approval of personnel report. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the personnel report as discussed and presented.
Second.
Mr. Gatewood?
Aye.
Dr. Maria?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Simulton?
Aye.
Mr. Ploger?
Aye.
Ms. Venmus?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. 8.3, approval of the 5-year superintendent contract extension. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to find that the superintendent has met the goals and indicators of student performance and academic improvement in the superintendent's July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2026 performance-based superintendent contract. 2, terminate the superintendent's July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2026 performance-based superintendent contract. And 3, approve a new performance-based superintendent contract for the period beginning July 1, 2024 and extending through June 30th, 2029 in substantially the form presented to the board.
Second.
Ms. Venmus?
Aye.
Dr. Maria?
Aye.
Ms. Simulton?
Aye.
Ms. Johnson?
Really quick, before I give my vote, I just wanted to share that there has been a profound amount of work and intention that has gone on strategic planning and goal setting. And I look forward to working with Dr. Kogati and the rest of the board on providing precision around these goals in the near future, and excited to see what the next few years holds. Aye.
Mr. Ploger?
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. I just wanted to say, I hope that this is an investment in our district and in our community. It's an opportunity for us to send the message that we solidly stand behind Dr. Kelgati and the vision that he has for our district. And it sends a message of, or it provides for us stability and predictability and a commitment. And I hope that our community sees it as such. I know there's so many times I'm in the grocery store and I'm in many different places, and I'm just getting such accolades and praise for the direction that we're going and what we've accomplished so far. And we look forward, Dr. Kelgati, to the next 5 years so that we as a district know that the vision that you set forth will be, that people can follow it, that there's a commitment here, that we're not here, there, and everywhere, but that we have a clear direction and a focus, and that we're going in that direction, and we look forward to you leading us there.
Thank you, Madam President.
Do you mind if I, real quick? I got on the board in 2015, and it was one of the best of times, the worst of times, the interesting most of times, right? And lived through a few superintendents at this point. And one of the things that I think was an overlying theme all along was that we needed to really invest, and I mean really invest. It doesn't necessarily mean financial all the time, but it does also not mean financial all the time. And so what I see now compared to what I've seen in the past, when I came up on this board in 2015, people were afraid. I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to be honest about it, but there was a lot of fear in a lot of places and a lot of division. And so I am thankful for the board that sits up here. I'm thankful for Dr. Kelgati. I'm thankful for Mr. Obafemi. I'm thankful for your entire team. What I see are good things. And I know that for those who lived through those times, there was always this division about upper admin, building admin, staff, and the divisions always worked against us. I'm not saying I didn't understand why they existed. I 100% understood why they existed. But what I see from you and what I've been very appreciative of is that we're not going back to that. And so thank you. And please, community, board, Dr. Kelgati, staff, continue to please invest in all of our good people because we have excellent people.
Thank you, Jared.
Over the last several years, it's just been an honor to be on the board. And I'll say the first couple years on the board, it was my honor to spend time in the community clarifying the vision of the district and explaining what was happening. But over this past year, and I'll just give one example, which is just a microcosm of many conversations, I spent about an hour and a half in Walmart's parking lot talking to people that I didn't even knew who I was. And they approached me and just started to talk to me about all of the wonderful things that is going on in the school district. And they just couldn't stop. And they just kept telling me, and they talked about the 4 or 5 other kids that they've had that have gone through the district before, and the morale. And that has happened many times, that people will approach and come up to me and just start talking about the community, talking about, I work in another neighboring district, and just talking to them even about, hey, what's going on over there in your district? It's just a wonderful feeling to not have to explain, but just to listen to the praise of not just you as the superintendent, but your teams, the teachers, and so the morale is up. People, I think Mrs. Simulton or Mrs. Johnson talked about the hope that people feel. And so I'm just excited about this opportunity to give a sense of community, a sense of consistency to someone who has come in to give vision and forethought about not only what the district is, but what it could be. And your vision to see beyond where we are and to envision who our children are and what they can be has just been amazing. And truly, truly appreciate it, and looking forward to not only you, but the staff and for our students as well.
Thank you, Mr. Gatewood.
Want to say anything? So this is the beginning. So, well, yeah, first of all, ditto. But this is, so you and I kind of started at the same time. Except, I had a couple months on you there. First of all, you should appreciate the fact that we're not calling you at midnight, like we did last time, to let you know that you had the job. But no, having
I was awake, waiting.
We did. We discussed and literally called him at midnight to tell him that he was our selection. It's been, so my first year on the board has been the same as your first year on the board, and Dr. Murillo, I don't know about you, it's been fun, which is not the word that I thought would ever apply.
That's great.
But well, and there are several definitions of fun, but I mean fun in its real sense. But it's really nice to have the same vision and to be walking in line with you, all of us walking together, and the leadership that you've given to the district so far. I am just so impressed and so amazed, and I'm so glad you're going to be here for another 5 years.
Yay.
You're stuck with it. Okay.
I'll just add a few words. I'd like, obviously, to concur with everything that was said. So I just appreciate your vision and your stamina just to work through all of the work, right? Like thinking through. It is and continues to be a big project. And when we had a bite to eat when you were first hired, and we sat down, and I said a couple things, and I said, one of the things I want you to know is that I want you to hire and have the team around you that is going to make your vision come to reality. So I know that you walk in front, but I know there's a whole team behind you, and I think the board feels like a part of that team as well. So thank you.
One more time.
I'll lecture us later about Robert's rules.
Yeah. If I may just say just a few words. Yes. One is I am so honored that the board, I want to thank the board. This truly is a team sport in our efforts to serve children. This is not an individual. This is not about me. This is about our students. And the more we collaborate, and when I say we, from the board's vision for that collaboration, that was the one thing I heard from the board is work with people over and over. So if you're listening, that was the board's mission to me. Work with people. And I was honored to have that mission and to see it blossom from the superintendent's advisory group to our partnerships in the village of Oswego, Kendall County, Montgomery, Aurora, Yorkville, to our politicians, to our school leaders, our union leaders, our educators, staff, parents, and especially our students. I see Tyler's here in the audience, so great to see you. Our students we are so fortunate. They're some of the brightest students. I kept asking students, I stopped, are you a senior? They'd be like, no, I'm a freshman. Are you a senior? No, I'm an 8th grader. Like you want to talk about brilliance? What? So I am so honored, and thank you, board, for your trust and confidence in my leadership and really in the team that has come together. And we are excited to serve together and to really build a platform. We're just getting started. This is not the end. This is the beginning. And this is laying a foundation. And when you build, there's a proverb, Ishe Oluwa Kole Bajeo, which is Nigerian. I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, gosh. I've never said that with Raphael in the audience. Mr. Omufem. Ishe Oluwa Kole Bajeo, which is that which is made with love cannot be broken. Yes. That which is made with love cannot be broken. Thank you, brother. And so the board has set our North Star. We have a new North Star, our rightful and equity policy. Raise that North Star. We are going to fight for the excellence of all of our students. And not because one person is good or bad, but because we are all going to engage in continuous improvement and to be better. So my good today is an opportunity to be better tomorrow.
Ooh, all right.
My good today is an opportunity to be better tomorrow, and we will not rest until we see every student succeed. I just, again, want to thank the board. I want to thank the team, all of you for your shared leadership. And let's get this year started.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now it's your turn.
Okay. Well, we promised transparency, so let's talk about financial statements. 9.1.
The
Mr. Obafemi.
first month of the fiscal year, what we have loaded here, and there are no surprises here. Everything is going according to plan for the first month of the fiscal year. And then as it relates to the investments, what we have here, this is actually a good time of the year. We received 55% of property tax receipt from Kendall County back in, it started coming in May all the way to June. So if you look at the portfolio, we were in good shape. We have close to $69 million cash on hand from the general fund. And we still have $2.3 million that used to be part of the health fund when we self-funded, still sitting there, earning interest. And then we have the DSEP, the proceed from the last bond sale that was sold back in February of 2022, still sitting in there. Those are the funds that we've been using to do the capital projects that has been going on in the district. So for a total amount of $85.1 million cash on hand.
I just have a real quick note. It's kind of related, but kind of not. I'm not gonna lie. I just want to take a moment to commend the district itself because, you know, I understand that. You know, I've certainly heard things when we talk about like transparency and so forth and so on. But I think we need to understand we have public finance, like openly finance committee meetings, right? We have lowered the bid threshold so that we're trying to monitor spending more. Like, I don't think that there are some people that understand that there are districts out there that are absolutely doing work in the dark. And so, I listen, we're a family here and we're going to have our disagreements out in the open. And so I appreciate that. And I just think we need to take a moment to realize that and appreciate it. Doesn't mean that everything is, you know, where we want it to be, and it doesn't mean we're not going to have disagreements, but at least we're having them out in the light.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jared, if I could just put an exclamation point on that. Dr. Kincaid will, I'm sure, nod her head. When we lowered that threshold, you know, admin is like, just so you know, you're going to have a lot more contracts and proposals in front of you, and it's going to cause a lot of work, extra work. And we really were committed to that. You know, at some point, when we have all the systems in place and everything is firing, you know, the board may at the time choose to, you know, change that policy. But we really have truly gone through a fine-tooth comb and are trying very hard to be as transparent as possible. So thank you for bringing it up, Jared.
Yeah, and I swear I'll make it quick, but we're very much again ahead of things because you know, and I don't understand the law completely, but the Secretary of State's office I know passed some pieces or implemented, I should say not passed, but implemented some pieces where there's a lot more light on school districts than there was in the past when it comes to dealing with vendors and so forth, and it's a lot easier to find information. And so I commend this board and the administration for getting ahead of the game because, like I said, there's a lot of people out there dealing in the dark. And I challenge those other districts, too, to do your work in the light because I think every student in this state and every family and every taxpayer deserves that. So.
It's also why our meetings are so long.
I have a quick question. At what point, I know that we're into a new fiscal year, and I know that the last set of financials that we had were actually through July 31st, but I know that there were still probably some residual items that hadn't come in yet. At what point will we see the final report?
So at the end of August, we should have a final closing of the fiscal year. What will also be very helpful is the audit, because the annual financial audit, the independent auditor will come in and they'll review our books. And in the past, our audit weren't completed until March.
Thanks.
So one of the first things that we talked to the auditor about is that was not acceptable. We requested that our audit be completed, which is what is required by statute, by the end of November, no later than the end of November. And they're committed to doing that. Because we're required to file our audit with ISB as well as the county by the middle of December, and we intend to do that. So the audit is the most comprehensive review of our finances for the last fiscal year because it's conducted by an independent entity, not us.
Right.
So we should have that ready to present to the board by November, and we started the process. And from what the auditor told me, we've never had an audit that early before as a district. But by statute, we're supposed to.
There's a lot of nevers.
So we started working with the auditor back in May. We started providing them documents that are required so that by the time they come later on this month to do their field audit, they will have everything they need.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. 9.2, purchase of jetter for operations department. Mr.
Good evening.
Hi.
Welcome.
It's good to be back. So we reached out. This was through that law action suit with several school districts with Jewel, and we won it. So we got some funds, and we would like to use those funds to do some sewer work and start a preventative maintenance program. So we reached out, gathered 3 bids, and we are recommending that we go with the lowest bid, Alan J. Coleman, in the sum of $24,793.51. Any questions?
I should share that we did review this in the finance committee and felt very strongly about this, that this was a important purchase.
So what this is, unfortunately, the district is actually not paying for it out of our own coffers. This was part of the Jules settlement, payment, the first installment of the payment that we received. And I believe we received $70,000. Of that amount, we set aside money to be able to buy the jetters. And the thinking behind that is, a lot of time when our kids are vaping, they put the cartridge down the commode in the bathroom. And we then have to hire a third party to come in and root the bathroom to be able to get those cartridges out. And it happens in not just in the high school, it happens in some of our other buildings. By buying the jetter, we're saving money because we can do preventive maintenance instead of hiring someone to come in every time we need to have this done. And they charge us between, I believe, $2,500 to as much as $5,000. If we own the equipment, we can use it in perpetuity.
Yeah, thank you for making that connection because, I think some people might think, wow, why are we spending it on that? And how does it relate to the vaping scenario? So thank you for that. Okay, I think we're
Okay.
done.
Last but not least on our updates, Mr. Queen. I know we talked a little bit about this earlier, but we have some big projects.
Well, and honestly, if you look at the slide up there, this is the first time I've ever seen us in a situation like this where there's actually less coming to you for bid than what we have completed. Wow. We had a really busy summer, and capital projects were pumping. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So to replace the concrete, you guys seen this back in the fall, I want to say last year, and we needed to bring that back to the table and rescope that work to get a better deal for the district. Long Beach, the roof project is another project that we will be going out for bid in December, so you will see both of those pieces come to you in December. Fox Chase roof, we're pushing the finish line. We have had some challenges over there, but we will still make that substantial completion and get it done before the 15th start of school. 10-year health, life, and safety, that is just that ongoing body of work. We're currently working through the junior highs now, and you will see some of that information come to you in the next 3 to 4 months with the proposal for the junior highs. Plank RTU replacement is done. We set 9 units on top of that roof, come through the punch list, and we're just to being up on there. We have substantial completion on that project. Boulder Hill, Long Beach cooling towers. We will commence that work as soon as we shut these things down and we're in a little bit cooler weather, and start that project and be moving through that through this winter and have that completed for the summer. And I'm happy to announce the Oswego track project and OHS track projects are complete, 100%. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Tennis courts are complete, although Mother Nature did come through and bend one of our poles up, and we're getting that worked on through that tornado we had come through, and we will get that buttoned up, but we are looking really good there. And the asphalt, Fox Chase, and Hunt Club are complete 100%. So we made a great effort and got capital projects pushed through, along with several other projects that you had mentioned with the renovations over at DAC and other areas in the district where we had to give some love and make sure those buildings were ready to go for the start of school year. Any questions?
Just one quick one, since you brought it up. You brought up storm damage. I'm just curious if insurance kicked in on anything.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And we didn't get hit as bad as what we could have, and what I did see some of the things happening. But unfortunately, there was one place that storm wanted to go, and it was that tennis court.
Of course.
Of course. Absolutely, Mary Jo.
And the claim process with our new insurance company, Click, easy, painful, no argument. So yeah, they're covering it.
Painless.
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 Painless. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said
painless.
painful.
Painless.
Painless. We know what you meant.
Yeah.
So the process has been going well of getting it repaired.
That's great.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, action item 10.1, approval of bills for payment. Can I have a motion, please?
Thank you. Make a motion to authorize the payment of bills in the amount of $10,292,188.60 as presented.
Second.
Ms. Venmus,
Aye.
Dr. Mario,
Aye.
Ms. Simulton,
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood,
Aye.
Ms. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Ploger.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Action item 10.2, approval of Title I SIP plans. Can I have a motion, please?
Yours is doing the same thing mine's doing.
You have it.
I'll take it. Sorry, my computer logged up, jammed up.
Mine just did too. It's weird.
Did that to you too?
Yeah.
Internet must have went
Thanks.
down.
It's not
I
moving.
think it went down, yeah. Hold on, I gotta find the. I'm trying to find the actual motion. Sorry.
It's okay.
All right, take your time.
10.2.
Oh, we're at 10.2. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Make a motion to approve the Title I school improvement plans for school year 2024-25 for Boulder Hill and Long Beach Elementary School as presented.
Second.
Second.
Dr. Mario,
Aye.
Ms. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Ploger,
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood,
Aye.
Ms. Venmus,
Aye.
Ms. Simulton.
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Action item 10.3, approval of student systems supports. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the purchase of an additional plug-in support for our student information system from MBA Marcia Brenner Associates in the amount of $44,950.
Second.
Ms. Simulton,
Aye.
Ms. Venmus,
Aye.
Mr. Ploger,
Aye.
Dr. Mario,
Aye.
Ms. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.